The Brothers of Liberty, here to remind you what true freedom is.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was being censored. Let me repeat myself. Welcome to the Brothers of Liberty. We're always here to remind you what true freedom is. Um, now, yeah, I guess you guessed today's topic of censorship, and it's getting worse to the people who don't follow the narrative. You know, people like me and other people. We get banned, we get Facebook jailed, YouTube take down our videos. It's a good thing we still have Parler and Rumble, but I don't use Parler too much. But every video I put on YouTube does go on Rumble as well, so you can always find me there. And we also have a blog site as well, and I'll probably discuss censorship on the blog site too, because this is definitely a subject that needs to be covered. The reason I'm bringing up the censorship, I already had plans to do a video on censorship, but after what happened to one of the people I follow on TikTok, it definitely needs to be brought up to the light, and this video needs to be shared because, yes, right now they are censoring people on the conservatives, the patriots, the right of the spectrum, but pretty soon it will be everybody if you don't agree with the government or the narrative. Um, in particular, there's this one person that I follow, Wisco Patriot Chick. Her TikTok is now at 5.0. I've been following her since the first, second, third ones, and the fourth one, and I'm following her again on the fifth one as well. But all her media was deleted, and she was banned. She had to create a new TikTok profile because of it. Because it's not the narrative. And she speaks the truth, she speaks her mind, which everybody should be able to speak the truth in their mind without fearing of censorship. Now, a lot of the institutions will say, well, private institutions don't care because they're private institutions. They're not part of the government, so they can censor your speech. Well, how about when the press secretary freely admits that the White House helps Facebook find problematic posts? That is government censorship. The government themselves may not be pressing the button, but they're instructing a private company to do so. So therefore, Facebook no longer enjoys their private company freedoms. And if all those leftists who want to say, you say a business could do whatever they want, so they should be able to censor you. Just remember, if you're saying that they're a private business, they should be able to do whatever they want. Do not get upset about businesses not catering to the left. So yes, it goes both ways, not just one way. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Sorry to tell you that, leftists. Um, or they love to call certain things like COVID information. Some doctors start talking about something different than the government. They'll say, oh, that's misinformation, so therefore we got to take it away. No, that's called propaganda. If people do not agree with the government and you take it away and call it misinformation, that's not misinformation, that's called propaganda. I actually learned science. There's something called the scientific method where you take all your theories and then do studies and cases and find out which theory is true, which theory is false. That's how science works. It doesn't work by the government saying, well, our doctor said this, so everyone else is wrong and we're the only ones that's right. That sounds familiar to a government from the 1930s, um, and which is why they had the Nuremberg trial and Nuremberg Accords. But apparently, our government forgets that and still think they can force a vaccine on people. Um, I'm pretty sure that I will be censored at one point. I haven't been yet, which I'm shocked and surprised with some of the stuff I post on TikTok and on my YouTube channels. Um, but mainly because I haven't grown as big yet. But when people start finding out about the channels and finding out about TikTok, I will grow. And like I said, I have backups and backups. So you can try to take away my videos, they'll come back up. I'm like a cockroach. And a lot of us patriots are like cockroaches. You can stomp us as many times as you want, but you're not going to silence us, and we will not go into hiding. In fact, what happens, you stomp on one cockroach, the next day you see 5 or 6. That's what's going to happen. Because now, with everything that's happening, even people that you would not think working together are now agreeing with a lot of people who've been saying it for 6, 7 months down the road. A lot of people regret voting for Biden. A lot of people regret what he's doing now. And he's losing support big time because we're getting tired of the censorship. We're getting tired of trying to be silenced. This is America. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion. And we have the Second Amendment to make sure the First Amendment doesn't get taken away. Um, and I'm pretty sure I'll be called a radical for that. So what? Big deal. I'm a radical. Because I know people's going to call me that. One person, when I commented on a TikTok, I made a joke. Yeah, with my YouTube video, people think I'm a radical. And he said, after you commenting and watching my video, they probably think you're a radical. And my comment, I'm fine with that. Radicals were also used for George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Patrick Henry. This channel is called the Brothers of Liberty. Me and my brother are very outspoken, and we always want to remind you what true freedom is. And just for a definition of censorship for the government that's probably monitoring this video now, the suppression or prohibition of any parts of books, films, news, etc. that are considered obscene, politically unacceptable, or a threat to security. In other words, if a certain government group thinks it's politically unacceptable, they'll censor you, even though they shouldn't, and it should not be allowed because of our freedom of speech. Wikipedia even goes to say material that may be objectionable, harmful, sensitive, or inconvenient, like Michael Moore's Inconvenient Truth. What is the patriots that you're censoring have an inconvenient truth that you don't want to hear? That's just my opinions. And we wouldn't have this censorship problem if they actually didn't censor in high school these books like 1984, Animal Farm, Fahrenheit 451, which is strange enough. Fahrenheit 451 was a book talking about the government banning books. And in 2018, there was a group of parents who wanted to try to ban it from a middle school. Their big objection, they used the word GD, and it had sex in it. But I don't hear those same parents trying to ban or boycott the WAP song. Just my observation. And since this is the Brother at Liberty channel, I want to leave you this one thought about censorship and about liberty from George Orwell, which is the author of the books 1984 and Animal Farm that I mentioned. If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. And that's the country we live in. What do you think on it? Comment, send an email at brothersofliberty76@gmail.com if you want us to discuss a topic you haven't heard yet. Like, share, and subscribe on our channel. And once again, this is the older brother, Kelton, reminding you what true freedom is.